Hello, welcome back to my channel and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach, and today we're talking about meal prepping, meal planning. I get asked this question all the time by my coaching clients. Where do I begin? So today we're going to do a beginner's guide for how to meal prep. So if you're excited, give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell notification is turned on because I upload new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Check out the description box down below for nutrition coaching, where I offer personalized to you macros and calories. Highly recommend, as well as one-on-one coaching if you would like to talk with me directly. Links and discounts to my favorite healthy things are also down in that description box. So let's jump into the beginner's guide to meal prep. Now, I would call myself a meal prep connoisseur or maybe an expert meal prepper. I actually meal prep breakfast, lunch, and a snack every single week. Sunday is my meal prep day, and I set myself up for success during the week. But I had to start somewhere. And today I want to share with you some tips and tricks on how to get started, because planning and prepping your meals is a huge, huge contributing factor to weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight. So basically, the concept behind meal prepping is to create things in advance so that when you have a busy day or when your schedule's overwhelming, you have healthy options on hand. It also helps with portion size. It helps you make healthy choices, because when we're busy or when we get home from work and we're too tired to even think about preparing a meal, having things on hand ready to go is easier than having to make mac and cheese or grilled cheese or frozen pizza for dinner. There are a lot of different ways to meal prep. You don't have to spend an entire Sunday afternoon prepping your meals for the next week. So let's first talk about the different ways to actually meal prep. Like I mentioned, I prepare a breakfast, lunch, and a snack. That's just one way to prep for the week. You can make ahead meals, full meals cooked in advance, which can be refrigerated and reheated at meal times. This is particularly handy if you struggle with dinner time. You can also batch cook, making large batches of specific recipes, then splitting it into individual portions to be frozen and eaten over the next few months. These make for popular warm lunch and dinner options. Individually portioned meals, preparing fresh meals and portioning them into individual grab-and-go portions that can be refrigerated and eaten over the next few days. This is particularly handy for quick lunches. And lastly, ready to cook ingredients. Prepping the ingredients required for specific meals ahead of time as a way to cut down on cooking time in the kitchen. You have to decide which of these meal prep methods is going to work best for you. For instance, maybe breakfast is where you struggle. Maybe you are so busy and in a rush to get out the door in the morning that meal prepping a breakfast item that you can warm up and take with you on the go may be really beneficial. Or maybe it's dinner time. Maybe when you come home from work, you just can't be bothered to create a meal. So if you have these meals prepped ahead in the refrigerator or the freezer, and literally all you have to do is warm them up, that again is going to keep you away from the frozen pizza and the mac and cheese. Choose one of these methods that sounds appealing to you and experiment with them. Maybe you'll try the whole batch cooking and decide that it's not for you. There are a lot of different ways to meal prep, and you just have to find the one that works best for you and your lifestyle. Next up is picking the right number and variety in the meals that you're preparing. Figuring out exactly how many meals you should make can be tricky. The best way to combat this is to think ahead about what meals you want to focus on for the week. We talked about breakfast or dinner, or maybe snacks or lunches for the week. Check your calendar and see how many of these meals you're going to need to get you through the upcoming week. Make sure you're accounting for times that you'll be eating out, or maybe times that you'll be eating other meals during the week. That way you're not over prepping and over preparing, and then that food just ends up going to waste. It can also be overwhelming. So how about starting with just one recipe for the week? Find one dinner or lunch or breakfast recipe that sounds good to you and start by prepping that for the week and see how it goes. How do you feel throughout the week having that on hand and ready to go? Do you think you could even do more meals the following week? Another great tip is to think about what protein source you want to have for the meal and then build around that. What carbohydrate, what vegetable vegetable, what fruit are you going to incorporate? That's going to help you prepare well-rounded, healthy meals. And by changing up those sides that you're adding to the protein source, that's where variety comes in. Maybe one week you want roasted potatoes, and then maybe the next week you want pasta. Maybe you want strawberries, then oranges or apples. You can add variety to your meals by changing up the side dishes that go with that main source of protein. Another great thing about meal prepping is it cuts down on cooking time. Nobody, I mean, maybe a few people, but most people don't look forward to spending hours upon hours in the kitchen every week or hours upon hours after a long workday preparing a dinner. There are some things that you can do to streamline cooking time. Number one is stick to a consistent schedule. This means knowing exactly when you're going to be going grocery shopping, what day of the week works best for you, knowing what meals you're going to prepare that week, adding the ingredients to your grocery shopping list, and setting yourself up for the week. Maybe you reserve Sunday mornings to grocery shop and then Sunday afternoons to meal prep. The schedule is completely up to you, and the most important thing is it has to fit into your routine, and it has to be something you can do consistently. I meal prep every single Sunday. Without fail, I get up, I work out, and I meal prep. That is a consistent routine and schedule that I can stick with. Number two is pick the right combination of recipes. You want to make sure that what you're cooking doesn't require the same kitchen appliance. So you don't want to have 4 or 5 air fryer recipes or 1 or 2 Instant Pot recipes. You want to make sure that you have a variety of different cooking methods for what you're preparing. This is really, really important if you choose the batch cooking method, because you're going to be making large batches of foods. Some of them may require the same cooking appliance, so you want to make sure that you plan accordingly. A good rule of thumb is to maybe stick with 1 oven recipe, 1 stovetop recipe, and then 1 kitchen appliance recipe, whether that be your Instant Pot, your air fryer, your slow cooker, your blender, any other kitchen appliance. And then even think about having something that doesn't require cooking, maybe sandwiches or salads. Number 3 is organize your prep and cook times. Get a good workflow in the kitchen. Make sure that you're efficiently using your kitchen and your time, because time is important and we don't generally have a lot of extra time in our lives. Start with the recipe that's going to take the longest. Which one has the longest prep time, the longest cook time, the longest packaging up time? Start with that recipe first. If you save that one for the end, you may get to the end and not prepare that recipe, and it may end up being the one that keeps you on track all week. Reserve those cold non-cook meals for last, because those are generally the easiest to put together. For extra time, double check all the ingredients for the recipes. Maybe you have 2 that require chopped up onion. Chop up both onions in advance. Don't wait. Don't chop up the onion for one recipe, and then when you get to the second or third recipe, you realize you need another onion. You can actually chop them both up at the same time and have them ready to go, which saves lots of time. And lastly, you can use automated gadgets like rice cookers and Instant Pots, which really help save on time. And number 4 is to make sure you have a shopping list in hand when you head to the grocery store. Grocery shopping can be a big time waster and a big money waster. I actually just put out a video all about how to grocery shop in a healthy way and save money. I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it, because it goes really well with today's video. Make a detailed grocery list, everything that you need to prep for the week, and make sure you stick with your grocery list. It's when we see pretty packaging or really good deals or fun products at the store and we add them to our cart, not only are we bringing foods into our house that we don't necessarily need, but we're spending extra money that we don't need to spend. Also, limit your grocery shopping to once a week. That way you're not wasting time going to the grocery store every single night. And you can utilize grocery pickup, especially if you are someone that puts lots of extra things in your cart. Grocery pickup is a great way because you place your order and that's that. There's no opportunity to add extra things to your shopping cart. Once you've done your meal prep, another really important thing is to make sure that you're choosing the right containers to store your prepped food. The container can make a big difference between a fabulous meal and a mediocre meal. So here are some container recommendations. Number 1, airtight containers for ready to cook ingredients. Washable, reusable silicone baggies and stainless steel containers are great for keeping ingredients crisp and foods fresh. BPA-free microwavable containers. These are both convenient and better for your health. Pyrex glassware or collapsible silicone containers are some really great options. Freezer safe containers. These will limit freezer burn and nutrient loss. Wide mouth mason jars are ideal as long as you leave at least 1 inch of headspace so the food can expand when freezing. And lastly, leak-proof compartmentalized containers. These are great for lunches or meals which require ingredients to be mixed at the last minute. One great example is a bento lunchbox. You can also get stackable and similar size containers to store your food in your fridge. That way it takes up less fridge space. So how do you cook, store, and reheat these foods safely? Cooking, storing, and reheating in the right way can help prevent food poisoning, nutrient loss, and even weird bacterial growth in food. Some government-approved safety recommendations are as follows. Be mindful of proper temperature. Make sure your refrigerator is kept at 40 degrees or below and your freezer at 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Cool your foods quickly. Always refrigerate fresh foods and meals within 2 hours of purchase or cooking. For quick cooling, spread out cooked foods in shallow containers and immediately place them in your refrigerator. Keep storage times in mind. Cook fresh meat, poultry, and fish within 2 days of purchase and red meat within 3 to 5 days. In the meantime, keep them on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator to prevent contamination to the other foods. Cook at the right temperatures. Meat should be cooked until they reach an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees, which kills most bacteria. Thaw food safely. Thaw frozen foods or meals in your refrigerator instead of on your countertop. For faster thawing, submerge foods in cold tap water, changing the water every 30 minutes. Reheat foods only once. The more times you cool and reheat a food, the higher the risk of food poisoning. That's why defrosted food should only be reheated once. Reheat foods at the right temperature. All meals should be reheated to 165 degrees Fahrenheit before being eaten. Frozen meals should be reheated and eaten within 24 hours of defrosting. Use your labels. Remember to label and date your containers so that you can consume foods safely within the food safe period. And eat foods within the right time period. Refrigerated meals should be consumed within 3 to 4 days and frozen meals within 3 to 6 months. So what are some other steps to create a successful meal prep? Prepping a week's worth of meals can sound pretty daunting, especially for those of us that are new into meal prep. But here's some tips and tricks to make it less daunting and a little bit more effective. Number 1 is to select your meal prep method of choice. This can also be a combination of methods and should be based on your lifestyle and nutrition goals. Number 2 is stick to a schedule. Pick one day each week to do your meal planning, shop for groceries, and cook. Number 3, pick the right number of meals. Bear in mind your calendar and the restaurant meals you've planned for the week. Number 4, select the right recipes. Keep an eye out for variety and preparation methods. When starting out, stick to recipes that you already know. Reduce the time you spend on grocery shopping. Make a grocery list, organize by supermarket departments, or shop for your groceries online. Spend less time in the kitchen. Choose which meals to cook first based on cooking times. And lastly, store your meals. Use safe cooling methods in appropriate containers. Refrigerate meals you're planning to eat within 3 to 4 days, then label and freeze the rest. So what's the bottom line of today's Make Your Life Easy and Meal Prep video? Meal prepping is actually really great for people that want to spend less time in the kitchen. It can also provide really nutrient-dense, healthy foods rather than stopping at your local fast food restaurant, making that mac and cheese, or cooking a frozen pizza. Depending on your goals, your schedules, your meal preferences, there are so many different facets that you can incorporate into creating a healthy, sustainable schedule when it comes to meal prepping. Pick the method that works for you, choose a day of the week to shop, make a grocery list, and meal prep. You will thank yourself as the week progresses and we get busier and busier and busier and more tired and more tired and more tired. You'll thank yourself and it'll become a habit that you want to stick with. So that's everything that I have for you today. I really hope that this helps you begin your journey to meal prepping. I know for me, it's been a big game changer in me losing over 115 pounds. And I actually look forward to Sundays when I get to meal prep my food for the week. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and your bell notification is turned on because again, I upload every Tuesday and Thursday. Check out the description box down below for nutrition coaching and all of my favorite healthy things. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.